Okay, my name's Daniel Williams. My mum took me to Specsavers one day just to get my eyes tested. And the ophthalmologist tested my eyes to see if there's anything wrong with them. And then at that point, they noticed there were some abnormalities with my eyes. So they then referred me to Bristol Eye Hospital, which I went for lots of different tests. And then they then found that it was a condition called retinitis pigmentosa, which is in the back of the eye. You've got your retina, which helps you to see detail, light and dark, which basically and then there's millions of cells within the retina that slowly die off with my condition. They don't know why they die, they just die off slowly. And it's a gradual loss of vision over a gradual period of time. I was angry and frustrated, and I took all my anger out on my teachers and the learning support staff, because I didn't want them to be near me all the time, sort of mollycoddling me and trying to help me, really, because I didn't want that. I rejected them. And then I also really rejected my mum and was quite horrible to her, and I was sort of saying that it was her fault and blaming her because it was a genetic condition, and I was trying to say that she had given me the condition and all this sort of stuff. And I was quite horrible, really, and obviously that was just because I was so angry at that point in my life. It shattered me, and I was like, thinking, well, what am I going to do now? Can't work in a shop because I can't see the till. And I was just thinking of all the negatives that I couldn't do, really. And my head was just in a very negative space. So then I was like, well, if I can't do this and I can't do that and I can't do that and I can't do that, then what's the point of being on the world, in the earth, really? So I just one day just got really drunk and took loads of pills and took loads of alcohol and tried to commit suicide. And that was sort of rock bottom for me, and that was like my darkest place. And that was just because I felt so alone. I didn't have anyone else to speak to about what was going on, and just felt a failure, that I couldn't do anything at all. Although I come out of school with quite good GCSEs, etc., but I just felt like, well, if I can't do what I want to do, and I'm not going to be a cleaner, so that sort of attitude. So that was the dark point, and then I had counselling for that, but the counselling was it wasn't effective. It didn't help me because, again, the counsellors didn't understand what I was going through, and they couldn't help me. All I needed really was to speak to someone that actually could understand me and knew what was going on and could understand and had gone through a similar experience. So then who contacted a professional, I can't remember who it was, some social worker or something, contacted me and told me about this college that was in Hereford, which was a great place, and I should go and have a look at it, which was called the Royal National College for the Blind in Hereford. Once I got speaking to people, and I was at the college and I was speaking to people on the introduction sort of tour, it sort of opened my eyes to a lot, and it sort of made me realise that actually, there's people here that have got no sight at all, that are just getting on with life, and they're getting on with their career, and they're building up qualifications to go on about their business and be successful. And I thought, well, if they can do it, I can do it. It was so good to just know that I wasn't alone in the world, really, and they could understand what I was going through. So with that I then enrolled in the college, spent 2 years there, did business studies, health and social care and sociology, A-levels, and then met some inspirational people who have gone on to do great things too, and that was sort of the turning point in my life, really, and it was no counselling or medication could have helped. That was what I needed, not the medication, the counselling. So that was amazing, that place, just phenomenal, and it really changed my life, really. And then with that, I went on to do what did I do? So with that, when I was there, I did a charity. I raised some money for the college because they're a registered charity. So I did a skydive for them, and I did organise a family fun day for them as well, just to raise money for the college to give back to them, because they were so amazing what they did for me, really. And it was just felt to me degrading, and I was on a benefit that called me incapable, because it was called incapacity benefit, and I felt to myself that it's calling me incapable when I'm more than capable. So I don't want to be on something that's calling me incapable. So I sort of said to myself, no, I'm going to set up a business. So I went to the job centre and I said, I'm here to set up a business. And he said to me, oh, that's inspirational. And I turned around to him and said, what, inspirational? Because I want to set up a business. And he said, yeah. He said, not many people come in here. They only come in here when they're told to come in. And I said, well, I'm here and I want to set up a business, you know. So anyway, so he referred me to the Prince's Trust, went to the Prince's Trust program, did a 4-day exploring enterprise course, which was great. And I met some other inspirational young entrepreneurs, which was really cool. And then I got some funding from the Welsh Government because I'm living in Wales now. And the business is called Visualise Training and Consultancy. And what we aim to do is raise awareness within the world of people with visual impairment. The reason I set the company up was because I found that a lot of companies that are similar to me were doing a lot of stuff around disability, but they were focusing more on physical disabilities, so and not really sensory impairment or visual impairment. So people know how to put a ramp into a building, they know how to put a lift into a building, but they don't know how to look at the colour contrast of a building. So making sure that if you're in a restaurant, for example, the table's a different colour from the floor. Don't let anyone never take no for an answer, and you know, always be very, don't take no for an answer, and self-advocate for yourself. So know your condition and know what you need. When you're, say for example, when you're going for a job, make sure you're very clear on what you need and what support you will need, and don't be afraid to tell people, because a lot of people are quite inquisitive and interested about your story, I suppose. And even if you don't think it's interesting, still tell it. Because I sometimes do that. I think my story's not interesting, and I tell it so many times that I'm like, oh God. You know, I'm bored of my own story. So everyone else must be. So yeah. How does it feel to tell my story? Feels quite good to share my story and share it with other people, really. Let other people know what I've been through so that people can learn from it, and it may help other people. Yeah.